Join me today as we talk about a free BattleTech story, Redemption and Malice by Blaine Lee Pardue. This is the Geek Cabal channel. My name is Bobby, and today we're going to be talking about a free story that's on the Catalyst web store, Redemption and Malice by Blaine Lee Pardue. I believe this was part of one of the Kickstarter projects, but I could be mistaken. But at any rate, it's free on the Catalyst web store. This is not one of their monthly stories that are only there for like a month, but I don't know how long this one will be on there, if it's ever going to be taken down. So if it sounds remotely interesting, I suggest you follow the link in the description and go check it out. Which, by the way, there'll be a link in the description for where you can find the story. So, it's a short story like the others, so it's about 10, 12 pages, something like that. It's digital. So there's not a lot to say without just completely going through the story here. So I'll go through the few little bits and give you an overall opinion on it. So it takes place on the planet's, I believe it's pronounced Dichell, Dichell. That's out in the periphery somewhere. And it's November 6th, 3148. So it's still the Dark Age era. It's about 3 years, no, 2 years, 2.5 years before Clan Wolf took Terra. So our main characters are a gentleman named Halloran, who we eventually learn his last name is Hollis, and Ansel. We never learned his last name. And they are working for an organization called the Clave, which I looked that up because I was unsure. It's just something I'd never heard of. And while there is an article about it, all of the references are to this story. So this appears to be the only place they've ever been mentioned. Now, the article speculated that they may be Clan Wolverine because there are certain clan characteristics to the behavior of these two gentlemen. And apparently Hollis is a blood name for Clan Wolverine, if the thing I read is correct. So, maybe. Hard to say. Don't know if it's ever going to be followed up on, because Mr. Pardue is no longer with Catalyst. I've talked about that in other videos. That might not be the correct terminology there, since he was, work for hire. So he was never technically with them, but you know what I mean. Hopefully. I'm not really going to go into it. I still think it was a mistake to let him go. But, yeah, the story overall is, I thought it was, decent. It's, the planet that these folks are on gets attacked by pirates, and it's up to the main two characters to attempt to fend them off, because they are salvagers, and so they actually have a couple of functional battle mechs and know how to use them. And they're there in service of the Clave to find, scrap that they can turn into something useful, at least as near as I can tell. Because it's really light on details. I mean, again, it's a 10-page story. But it should be noted this planet was bombed back to the Stone Age during the Amorous coup, because it was part of the Rimworld's Republic territories. I don't know. But that is where Amorous, that was his power base. So first, the Star League Defense Force just mercilessly crushed them. And so this planet, as a result, was bombed, including with nukes. But this is centuries later, so the radiation's dissipated. But there's still a lot of salvageable materials here. And so that's why the two main characters are there. Then the pirates show up, lay claim to the planet, and eventually battle ensues, things happen, conclusion of the story. So, like I said, overall, I like the story. It pointed to a potentially interesting group that could have been fleshed out later. It may still, you never know. You can't have a whole lot of character development in a short story like this, and we really don't see much. I mean, we see the characters go from seemingly not caring that it's not their deal, it's not their fate, to, well, okay, we're going to fight for these people, but we need to keep it like within the bounds of our belief system as members of the Clave. And the gentleman seems to have satisfied that to his satisfaction. I'm sure there's a more elegant way to say that. But yeah, so then they take off. Can't say that like I consider any of the characters super interesting because again, 10 pages, we're only going to know so much about any of them. I mean, like Ansel, we didn't even get a last name on. We don't really know anything about him except he's the younger of the two. Halloran, we know, doesn't appear to really care for pirates and knows how to deal with them. So, yeah, I mean, not much on the character front. There's a few mechs described. Halloran's mech is a Franken mech through and through. It's got parts from 3 or 4 different mechs. Then, the pirates, they're, pirates. Didn't have a whole lot of nice things to say about the Charger as a mech. But, yeah, other than that, all I can say is if you got, 10 minutes, take a sample of some periphery fiction, this is the story for you. If you're at all interested in it, based on what I'm saying, if you don't already have it, you should definitely download a copy because you don't know if it's going to get deleted or removed or anything. So, overall, yeah, like I said, I would check it out. I thought it was decent. You can only do so much in 10, 12 pages, but, for what it's worth, it's decent. Plus, it's free. So, like I said, I'll link to that down in the description. So, yeah, that's about all I've got to say about this. Other than, like I said, you should check it out. But, yeah, so if you liked what you heard here, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. We always appreciate all that. Sharing and commenting, things help us grow the channel. Subscribing is what we're all aiming for here on YouTube. But that's about all I've got to say, other than check out my reviews of numerous other short stories and novels that I have here on the channel that will have been linked to at some point up on top here. Yeah, so other than that, just remember, this being BattleTech, no guts, no galaxy.